So the first thing that I wanted to speak about is your specific service that you do
Mhm.
with, do you call it Renee and Nicole Consulting?
Yeah, well, Renee Nicole Consulting is the business name, but I just kind of shorten it to Renee Nicole now because consulting just sounds so stuffy and oh. But
Right.
yeah, so I just say we and Renee
So,
Nicole offer, the whatever the range of services are. Yeah.
right. So you help persons with new digital products and
Hmm.
services, and you help them in terms of figuring out how to automate their processes and how to sell their services to their audience.
Hmm.
And when I was reading, and you help them with creating funnels for their
Hmm.
business,
Hmm.
online funnels.
Yeah.
And when I was reading through what you do, I felt that it was very specific and very focused.
Hmm.
Like it was laser focused. I can help you with this specific thing, this type of business,
Hmm.
this type of individual. But I
Hmm.
also, from my knowledge, again, I know we weren't always in very close communication, but at one point in time, I recall that you were doing hairstyling, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure what other things you may have done as well professionally. So
Hmm.
I was intrigued about your professional journey and how you got
Hmm.
to the point of niching down on this specific area.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is some time in the making. And initially I started off in public service. I was in admin and I did a lot of like policy development and actually process development, standardizing what should I say, standardizing operations, that kind of thing. And I think that actually helped with what I do now in terms of, knowing how to standardize processes, knowing how to even create processes and develop standardized procedures, for operations, right? So that's why I started off, but I'm not very good at the whole 9 to 5 thing. I lasted like 3 years because I really don't like people like what should I say, controlling my time. Like I work with great people, like I honestly cannot really say that I had like a horrible boss or anything. My bosses were actually very encouraging and very supportive and that kind of thing. But it's just the environment of, having to get to work for 8, having to go home at 4, having an hour for lunch, and just not really having much leisure time or downtime. I was like, I cannot live my life like this. And then tied to that, I was actually burnt out because from 2010 to 2012, I was studying and working full time. So I was like, you go to work, go to class in the evening, you have work to do in the evening, and then you repeat in that process like 5 days a week, and then you still have to work on, well, not do my regular job on, but you have to do work for the program, on weekends and that kind of thing. And yeah, at one around 2011, 2012, I got like super, super burnt out and I was like super sick and nobody knew what was wrong with me, right? So I just kept going from doctor to doctor to doctor trying to figure out, okay, well, why is this happening? And after a long time, with prayer and changing my diet and with a therapist, a bunch of life changes that I made, I realized that listen, this this 9 to 5 thing is not for you. You need to figure something else out. And I was like, what skills do you have that you could pretty much capitalize on quickly? And I was in the natural hair community for a significant amount of time. Like I've been doing hair since I was like 11, right? I've been doing my sister's hair, my cousin's hair, and you were from school, remember, the group of us doing here. Wait, no, you weren't in my class, but still, I was one of the group of students in Holy Name who would be doing here for like Carnival and Christmas Bazaar, that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, I think I could, what should I say? I could make a career out of this, right? So, um, I reached out to Alison Goddard. She was the owner of Body Beautiful on the Avenue at the time. She was looking for a hairstylist, and I had reached out to her, to see if we could work out some kind of arrangement in terms of, me using her space to provide services and that kind of thing. And we did have an arrangement to do that. So for 3 years, I provided hairstyling services, and that really helped me understand how business operates. How to basically start from nothing and build a multiple six-figure business in like 2 or 3 years, and how to. This was back when it was still pretty new, like organic marketing on social media, right? But how understanding how to use social media to generate business and that kind of thing, right? So that happened. Then I got married, and I had to move to Barbados. Then I had to start the whole business over again. And but my business is still in Trinidad. It's still running. My sisters, I've trained my sisters to run, and operate that salon there. And I started over with a new salon in Barbados, and I did the same thing, built it, from the ground up. But then I realized I was kind of back at the same point where I was with my 9 to 5, where I was still trading time for money. So I had to work really, really hard to make a decent living. And the Barbadian market um is not like the Trinidadian market. No shade thrown to them, but they are way more, and they are way more budget conscious than Trinidadians are. Like Trinidadians will complain and say, "Oh my God," they would, what should I say? They'll make comments about prices, but they'll still pay for it. So they
Right.
do tend to spend a lot of time, I don't want to say self-care, but like pampering themselves. So they'll do hair, nails, makeup, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
Um, the Barbadians do that to some extent, but here is like one of the first things they would drop. So they would rather go do their nails or something like that, as opposed to hair. Or they might do like a weave where they see you get better value for money, as opposed to like doing a natural hairstyle. Because I was in a very specific niche as well. I was not doing all hair types. I dealt specifically with natural hair and natural hairstyles and braids, extensions, that kind of thing. So then also I noticed that the market was changing. So I saw the crash that was around 2015, 2016, that downturn. I saw it coming. I was like, no, that was actually 2018. Yeah, I saw it coming in 2018. I was like, I need to get myself out of this, because I don't want to depend on the local market to make my money, right? So that is when I was like, okay, well, what other avenues do I have to make money? And then that is when I discovered the online space, right? So I was like, oh my God, people are making money by like providing services online. How, this is amazing. So I mean, I don't have to leave my house. Right? So then I am a researcher, by heart, so I like really dove into that research. And actually initially I started out in the beauty industry. So I was in consulting for beauty businesses, but then they were still local. Well, it was fashion and beauty businesses, but they were still local businesses. And like, no, I don't necessarily. Again, I don't want to depend on a local clientele to be able to make my money, right? So then I kind of looked further, and then I came across the virtual assistant industry. So that's where I really developed my knowledge of digital marketing, as a virtual assistant, because I was working with a lot of business coaches, consultants, that kind of thing, helping them set up their marketing system so that they can sell their products and services. And because I am the kind of person that I am, they quickly realized that, okay, she's not just a typical VA who is like, okay, well, do this, and they do it. I am like, okay, yeah, I did this, but have you considered X, Y, and Z? And then they started asking me about strategy and that kind of thing. And I also did a lot of training. So I did like technical training on different platforms and that kind of thing. But I also was in a lot of group programs. So I did sales training. I've done what should I say, business training. I have done marketing training. Yeah, I've done training on pretty much every aspect of online business. Um, multiple programs, multiple courses. Like I was doing an inventory last year, and I did like over 20 programs in the last 2 years. Yeah, it's a lot. So I've
That's
invested a significant amount of money, like over 10,000 US dollars in training, training and programs to be able to expand my knowledge about business and, understand how business operates, right?
that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so that is what has got me to this point now. So I started off as, this is specifically with the online space, right? So I started off as a virtual assistant, and I think the training from that, knowing how, back end operations work, and also being able to, what should I say, have the 30,000 foot view, as we call it, being able to see what it is people want, the vision, see and understand the vision, and help break that down to steps to make it a reality, is why I have arrived where I'm at now, where I am a um, I would say online business and funnel strategist, right? So I'm not really a coach. I am more of a I'm more of a strategist, and we make that distinction because a strategist really tells you. A coach kind of, they ask you questions for you to figure out where you're at. Whereas a strategist, they ask those same kind of questions, but then they help you build your roadmap to actually get it done, right? So
Right,
that is
right.
the distinction we tend to make in our space. Yeah.
So you said from 2010 to 2012, you were
Mhm.
working full time and studying as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
So was the, that would not have been Cave Hill, no?
No, that was at UTT actually. I did that would be an associate's degree in fashion management because I've I have always been the kind of person who just studied what the hell I felt. I felt like studying. Like nobody could like tell me, oh no, you should be doing this, and I would just go along and do it. No, it was like I feel the need to study this thing, so I'm gonna do fashion, right? So
Okay,
yeah, because that's something that has always interested me, and I thought, I should pursue it further. And it actually did help a lot with understanding how the fashion industry operates, but also understanding how to run a business from a business standpoint in terms of being strategic. So that helped with, how I run my business now. Running an actual business in terms of when I was managing the salon showed me, the nuts and bolts and the actual reality of managing and growing a business. And
right.
then being be doing the technical support as a virtual assistant when I started off initially showed me the technical aspect of running an online business. So I think all of all of that knowledge and experience has come together to help me where I am today.